Today, I want to talk about a really great pen. And unfortunately, I understand there are some changes in the pipeline for this pen. So I thought do a quick video, let you know why I think the Platinum 3776 is a great pen and why I'm a bit sad that it's changing. So first off, if you've seen my other videos, you may know I'm not the biggest fan of Platinum. I mean, they're great, but I think I prefer Pilot and Sailor. Typically, I'm very much a diehard Pilot fan. I like Sailor, not as much as I like Pilot, and Platinum is a distant third in terms of Japanese pen brands for me. I've also done videos where I've criticized the 3776, but it doesn't take away from the fact that overall it is a great pen. So I wanted to tell you my opinion about why I think it's a great pen, and some of the changes that I hear are coming to the lineup. So first off, let me get the negatives out of the way, and then I'll show you some of these other pens that I have on the side here. But let me get the negatives out of the way so we can start talking about why I think this pen is great. So when I compare Japanese fountain pens, especially in this price range, so the 3776, the Pro Gear Slim, the 1911, like that sort of range of pens, the gold standard for me, as you probably already know, is the Pilot Custom 74. This is the pen I seem to measure everything against. This is the one that I use most in my collection. And compared to the Custom 74, the Platinum pen has a few cons. I've listed them out here, but I'll go through them. So the first is the materials. So the plastic on a 3776 feels a bit brittle and hard, and just kind of cheap compared to what you find in the Pilot. And it also doesn't hold up as well. So you see, I'm not sure if the camera will pick this up, but this is one of the pens I do post. And you can see there are definitely scratches from posting. There are scratches from just being knocked about. It's not a great material that they use for the body of the pen. The second negative for me personally is the size. Now, you can see compared to the Pilot 74, the Platinum is a bit thicker. However, and I have big hands, so I prefer thicker pens in general. However, in terms of using this, things fall apart a little bit. The first issue for me is that the section is not any sort of shape whatsoever. It's just a straight plastic tube. And I prefer something with a bit more contour. And then there's this step down, rather aggressive step down from the barrel. But the main issue for me is that the 3776 is too short and too thin at the top. I prefer to use most of my pens unposted, but for this one, I actually do post because I find the pen slightly uncomfortable to use posted. So just a quick comparison, this is what the 3776 looks like unposted, and if you compare it to the Custom 74, you can see the Custom 74 fits my hand nicer. The third issue I have with the pen is related to the material quality, but it's the quality of the plating, whether it's rhodium plating is in this model, or gold plating on the classic colors. I hope the camera can pick this up, but you can clearly see the plating is rubbing off. You can see the base metal under the plating, not just here, but on the clip, around the edges, around the top. And I'm not very hard on my pens, and even this particular pen, I don't use it every day. So the fact that it's wearing off like that is disappointing. If you look at a pen that I practically have used every day, the Pilot, the Custom 74, there's no issues at all with the plating on this. And the final thing in terms of a negative is the consistency of the nibs. So this particular nib is a fine. It's not polished consistently all the way around. So when you write, there are certain angles where the feedback is more pronounced than others. I have the 3776 in a medium with this particular pen. This pen it has a weird scratching sound when you write. It's just inconsistent. There are ones I've tried in fine and medium that are smoother than the ones I own. There are ones that are rougher. There's one fine that I actually sent back and had a nib swap because under warranty, because the grinding was so terrible that it was difficult to write. So consistency, I would say, is another negative. But those are the negatives. So why is it then that I have one Pilot Custom 74, which I say is the pen I like more, but I have so many Platinum 3776s? Well, and you know, I actually have a couple more that just been too lazy to dig out. They're under a box somewhere. But there are two main reasons that I have multiple of these pens and not the Pilot. The first is, I think the 3776, in terms of the options that you can get, are more interesting. So there's of course the classic colors, the black and gold, the black and rhodium, but then you have the transparent colors like this beautiful blue and rhodium trim. This particular one is with a soft fine nib, which I think is really quite nice. And then there are the special editions. I'm not a big chaser of special editions. I am not a collector of like I don't collect every 3776 that comes out. I don't typically chase the special editions, but there are a few that I think look really cool, and these are two of them. So this one is I believe a Japan domestic market special. I don't even know what this is called, but I like yellow pens. I think they're really cheerful, and I think this just looks really cool. Yellow cap, yellow section. It's a tinted yellow body. I just think this looks really cool, and Pilot doesn't do this type of thing with the Custom 74. All the issues I stated earlier with the other pen are true here. The plating is terrible, the nib quality is inconsistent, but it's just cool. This one I think is particularly cool looking. This is a recent one that Platinum did for a Japanese reseller called Nagasawa. Had a friend from Japan pick this one up for me. And this one is like a ruthenium plating, I believe. It's a darker plating, and it has a cool engraving on the nib for the Nagasawa retailer. But I think this colorway looks really cool. So first reason why I have many 3776s is because they do cool things with them, and I enjoy that. The most important reason, however, is the nib. And you can probably see, oh, you can see, I wrote this down here. The most important thing is the nib. And to give you an idea of what I mean, this is the 3776 14 karat gold nib. Let me give you a size comparison to the Pilot Custom 74. It is substantially larger than all of the pens in this competitive price range. So to me, the nib alone negates or makes me willing to compromise with the cons of this pen. I'm giving you an idea of the size of this nib. This is a Montblanc 146, pretty sizable gold nib. The Platinum nib is actually a little bit larger. And then one of my all-time favorites, the Pilot Custom 823, which is a number 15 size Pilot nib. You see, the Platinum nib is actually about the same size. Now, this number 15 size nib is 2 sizes higher than what comes in the Custom 74, which is in the price range of this pen. So Platinum is really giving you a very generously sized gold nib with this pen. And in my personal opinion, I think that's the main reason this pen is one of the best-selling pens in Japan, and why it's been so popular with people around the world. Now, I mentioned earlier things are changing. Platinum is changing the nib soon. I can't read Japanese, so I can't really make out exactly when, but for whatever some anniversary that's coming up, they're changing the shape of the nib and they're making it smaller. I imagine gold prices are high. I'm just guessing here, but I'm guessing gold prices are high. I'm guessing this is more of a cost-cutting move rather than anything to benefit the consumer. So in my personal opinion, it's not great that they're changing the nib, and I will miss this nib. So I wanted to give you a sense of how this writes, and I have this cheap legal pad paper for a reason. And the reason is this particular 3776 with a fine nib is something that I find writes on all qualities of paper. So this is very, very cheap paper, and it just writes. There's very little feathering. There's no skipping. You can probably tell from the sound that there's a bit of feedback. I'll try to go in all different directions here so you can probably tell the feedback is not consistent in terms of all the directions. I'm being picky here. If I had a Lamy nib, for example, that wrote like this, I would be thrilled. The problem is Pilot nibs and Sailor nibs tend to be more consistent in my perspective or in my experience than Platinum, but this is really nice. And I think just the fact that a nib of this size and sort of this feel, it's nice and sort of springy, it's very pleasant to use. The fact that you can get this on what is essentially a fairly entry-level gold nib pin from Platinum, I think it's really cool. And probably why these pens are so popular, and why I think this is really a great pen despite all of the cons that I listed earlier. So really cool pen. I'm going to miss this nib. I'm sad that Platinum is changing it, but given what's available from the competitors, yeah, I guess we're lucky it lasted so long. So anyway, just wanted to do a quick video on why I think this is a great pen, and why it's especially a really nice nib. So I hope that was fun. Thanks for watching.